Somebody's waiting. Hello and welcome to a new episode of ZomCast 2. In this episode, we will talk about the latest in technology and software and an exciting topic, how to get started programming. So if you are getting started programming and you wonder how you should start learning programming, what technologies you should use, this episode is for you. I'm Mehdi and I'm the host of this podcast, and I'm here with my co-host Mahmoud.
Hi guys, I'm Mahmoud and I'm here to starting ZomCast 2.
Very good, very good. So, let's see what we are going to talk about. Some latest developments in software technologies. First, in the previous week, we had Kubernetes 1.9 release, which is an important event. If you are a cloud practitioner or if you are a cloud expert, it's probably an exciting piece of news for you. So I hope that's some good news for you. Personally, I'm not a cloud expert, but I like Kubernetes because, as many of you might know, Kubernetes is a platform for managing containerized applications, and it is used for organizing and coordinating cloud-based applications. So the next thing, something exciting that I heard in the Android world was the release of a new library from the Jetpack collection. So if you are an Android developer, it is going to be an exciting piece of news for you. Jetpack Data Store. And what is this library? This library, if you have experience with Android's shared preferences, it's going to change how you store users' preferences and data suited for being saved in preferences, in shared preferences, in data store. So you could search it, you could check it out. There are some new articles on Google's blog about this new library. But note that this is still in alpha, and as far as I know, it's supposed to change the way shared preferences are used, or probably completely replace it. All right. Now let's talk about our discussion. The main topic we are going to discuss is programming. Personally, about 10 years ago that I started learning programming, and I started studying in college for programming, it was a little bit of a challenge. I faced a lot of technologies. In web programming, for example, I remember there was Detail and Detail. There was a book more than 1,000 pages.
Wow.
And it had a lot of different technologies: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, Python. It was just overwhelming. And I did some programming with HTML. I had some courses. But this is just my personal experience. I found it very difficult, and I just gave up. I said, okay, web programming is just not for me. I don't like it. Let's focus on something like C++. Then I turned to C++, and I had some good time with C++. Not as a professional programmer, but I enjoyed it much more than I enjoyed web development. So this was some experience of me starting programming. And I think that programmers and early programmers, or let's say freshmen college students that are studying computer science need to have some clue how to get started programming. So, Mahmoud, what do you think? How do young students need to learn programming? What technologies should they learn? And do they teach them correctly in colleges? What's your opinion?
Uh, Let me talk about my experience about programming. I'm remember I started programming when I was 18, and my first project was a very small library. And I started with Visual Basic 6 in that time. Yeah, I started because I love it. I enjoy it to programming because I love to create something creativity.
Very good.
Yeah, and I think it's based on it's related to uh, their like if they like web programming, it's better to start with HTML or and CSS. Uh, but if they like to develop some system programming, I it's better to start with C++. And if they just like to develop some application for business or something like that, C Sharp and Java is very good.
So, interesting. So, do you have any general recommendation for anyone that is just newbie in this industry and they're curious and they love to learn software and create software, but they face just numerous opportunities and challenges? How do they need to get started?
For a start, uh, like riding a bicycle, not uh, like the other science. If someone really like to uh, be a programmer, I think it's better to practice and practice and practice. And they can start with small project, very small project. Uh,
Good. Actually, I recommended recently some very beginner course to someone, to some teenager in one of my, and she wanted to learn programming, and I recommended her some very basic HTML and CSS course. But um, unlike what I expected, she finds it very challenging and very difficult. So, for me personally, it seems just a kind of a question. How do we need to teach kids programming? And after that, the question is, how do we generally need to teach programming? Because I think that the colleges don't teach programming well. And I remember our teacher never went beyond in the college, our instructor never went beyond basic HTML and JavaScript. And the book that he suggested, or the book that our college library had for us, was something like web development book by Detail and Detail, and it was just very big. And it had numerous technologies included. So uh, the bottom line is, let's divide this into several questions. Mahmoud, how do you think we need to teach programming to kids? Do we need to teach programming to kids? Are they really able to grasp it, to grasp computer science concepts?
I think it's better to start with the simplest part and very simple project. They don't need to learn all uh, engineering and software engineering or very advanced topic. They can start with a small project, just uh, Yeah, a small project in the HTML and CSS is good for a start.
Okay, are there any good resources right now over the internet, on the internet for kids to learn programming you can recommend?
Uh, Maybe if you ask this question, somebody tell you different answer. In my opinion, you don't need any uh, resource, a specific resource. You just need a passion to start. I remember I'm just like to create a website for myself, and it's make me happy. And I remember uh, I spent a lot of time to create the this dream come true for myself. Yeah, and in my opinion, the passion is more important, and they don't need to learn a lot of software engineering stuff. They just need to know about what they like to create. They just in the first way just need to create a small HTML page. It's very easy.
Yeah, great. Uh, just before, my background is in some Android and PHP development, and Mahmoud's background is in.
I'm working with Microsoft.NET, but I
Oh,
start with Visual Basic 6.
yeah, you mentioned Visual Basic.
Yeah,
Do you think Visual Basic is a good language to start with?
I start with Visual Basic and it was great. I like it because it's more similar our language, English language.
Mm.
It's good to start, but C Sharp is better choice. If someone like to start .NET platform, I suggest them start with C Sharp.
Yeah, and I guess C Sharp is very advanced object oriented
Yeah, it's
language.
great
It's something
language.
very competitive in comparison with competitive to Java, something like that. Because
Yeah,
as far as I know, I'm not a C Sharp programmer as a side note, but as far as I know, C Sharp has delegates and it has a future, something like that, for handling async operations. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if
It
it's
has.
library or it's some built-in feature, but it's a very advanced language, and it's
Yeah.
not suitable for beginners, I guess, right?
Uh, they can start with simplest and yeah, C Sharp has advanced topic like async, await, delegate, and a lot of advanced topic, but it's not very difficult to start.
Mm.
If look, the programming is, I think programming is difficult, very difficult. If you don't like it, if you do it, if you forced to do it, it's very difficult. It's just something uh, you need passion to do it. If you like it, it's very easy, and you like the challenge. Uh, Honestly, I love challenge, and the if you see someone that talk about challenge and problems, and they don't like it, but challenge is very good. There are some people that looking for challenge, and programming is best way to uh, achieve it.
Very good. So it's very important. So we conclude that so far we have some important consideration on getting started with programming. Programming honestly is difficult, and it's not something that you might think it is. So if you really love programming, solving challenges and dealing with challenges, tackling challenges and solving problems, it's probably for you. But if you just want programming for money, probably it's not for you. But
Exactly.
this is not just opinion and uh,
Yeah,
Mahmoud's
I
opinion.
agree with that too.
Yeah. One more thing. Do beginning programmers or beginners in programming need to learn about some computer science basics like binary numbers or hexadecimal numbers, converting these numbers to each other? Do they need to know about these bit and byte?
In
What do
my
you think?
opinion, it's not very important for a start. And I don't like the university teaching method because they start with this advanced or difficult things. But in the real world, you don't need to know about hexadecimal or some advanced topic for a start. For a start, you just need to do uh, what you like to create. You need to create a library. You just need to uh, know about some database and creating a UI in some form. Just that, not more. Yeah, unnecessary to start with advanced topic, but it's my opinion.
Great, great. Yeah, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So, because all over the world, as far as I know, they start with the basics and the basics of computer science, like bit and byte, and these units, you know. And probably
Mhm.
it's not very good idea. You can start much simpler than that. And I have seen some. I have heard about some professors that they don't like this method of teaching, and even they don't like the fact that many courses and many beginning computer science courses teach C and C++. These are not very easy, and some of these instructors are against that. All right, so do we have a conclusion here on how to get started with programming and which language is suitable?
Uh, Mehdi, let me tell something. I think I forget to tell it before. It's mm, very good to know about basic of software engineering, but it's not necessary just for a start. You can start with a simple things and just create some simple project, and it I think it's motivate you if you use this method. You just create a simple project that you like it, but after that you topics, and yeah, it's and after that, yeah, if you like to keep programming, it's necessary to learn advanced topic. But we're talking about just starting. For starting, it's not very important or very necessary for start. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I understand you. Because uh, starting with bits and bytes and binary and defining different types of bases of numbers and converting them to each other and algorithm tracing and all those flowcharts is gonna probably kill the interest in computer science for beginners,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
probably they don't see the problem. They just see some competition to just work your mind like a machine and force it to solve problems. But when you don't really see the real world problems and the real world goals, probably it's not good idea to just uh, start with those concepts and trying to tackle a lot of those difficult problems and challenges. So, the bottom line, the conclusion that I can uh, get from this discussion is that you don't have to start programming very difficult way. If you really love it, you can spend time learning it, and it can be very fun, and it can be very rewarding, even in matters, and also in terms of having fun, because when you have fun with doing something, it can be promising for you to be your job. And but if you don't like it, it's probably not for you. So do you have anything else about this to say, Mahmoud?
Now, as you told before, yeah, it's uh, related to their passion. If they like it, it's very easy, and the challenge is very uh, lovely challenge, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's better to start with something that we really like it. Like if you like to start web developing, you can start to create your own website. It's very good idea, and it motivates you, and it's full fun.
Very
You
good.
enjoy it, yeah. Yeah, and it's very important to you should enjoy your programming.
That's right.